Hello. If you've ever inquired into the process called self-discovery, you will find that there are a number of ways in which people approach this particular subject matter. Subject matter is you. You looking for yourself. If you're looking for yourself, then the question is, what kind of self am I looking for? Why? Because I'm right here. If I'm right here, isn't it obvious who I am as myself? Why do I have to go looking? Why do I have to get into a process called self-discovery? What's that all about? Well, those are good questions. And a lot of people, when they actually hear the topic, that's exactly what they think, and they turn away from it. But if you happen to say, well, no, maybe there's something to that, and maybe in the process of looking at myself and doing this little exploration about myself, I might come to know something that helps me, that gives me a better perspective, and that gives me a way of getting through life and taking on whatever challenges that I have to face. So these are really the intentions by doing a self-discovery inquiry. If you can do that in such a way that there is a certain process of inquiry, and that in that process of inquiry you come to recognize there's a lot that goes into it, but it's not hard, it's not, it's not overwhelming, it's not so deep that it's like it tangles up your brain. It's a process that helps, and it is about you. So what could be more interesting than that in any case? Whether it's self-discovery or otherwise. You are the most interesting person. And therefore, you just need to be able to discover how that's the case and substantiate it so that everybody else can see what kind of a person you really are and who you really are, really speaking. So this process of self-discovery is a valid and helpful, and more than helpful, beneficial, and ultimately very enlightening type of a process, a pursuit. It involves recognizing that you can't take yourself for granted and that you don't want to in any case. And further, that you have to appreciate that all the roles that you play in your day-to-day life are just that. They're roles. Everybody plays the roles. The roles keep changing. And yet the very person that you are isn't changing. And that person is the person that would be helpful to be in touch with. Because if you just think that you're the roles, then you are bound to end up in confusion and losing objectivity. Something like an actor who keeps changing the roles, knowing the whole time I am playing this role, I play that role, and keeps moving and plays them to the hilt, but never loses their own awareness of themselves. And, if you think just the opposite of what would happen if an actor does that, loses sight of their role playing, we all know where that would end up. That person would end up with a role in the next mental institution. So this is comparable to what happens to us. We get stuck in our roles and we don't see that we are just playing them. And that the person who is behind the roles is not affected, is able to play the role better when the person stands free and clear. So this is really what self-discovery is all about.